Welcome to the only brother-sister podcast built for teachers, by teachers, dumplings over flowers.
I'm the sister, Nicole.
And I'm the brother, Izzy.
And this podcast is here to take you on a backstage tour of our combined 50 years of experience teaching so that we can help you recognize and celebrate substance over appearance.
Or dumplings over flowers. Yeah. Well, Waterman, spin the wheel. And here we are. Well, hello and welcome from San Diego. I was going to say sunny San Diego, but it's been more like
it's not sunny San Diego.
Cloudy San Diego. I did not realize that San Diego even could get to 60s and all that stuff. I just was told it's Shangri-La, like forever and ever. But
it's been Shangri-La inside where we are, which is at the ASU GSV Air Show, which is the air show focused on AI technologies and how they're being used, the new things on the market, all of the wonderful stuff. So welcome back to Dumplings Over Flowers.
And what we do here is we look for people who are adding substance over appearance, right? When we talk about AI show, we've walked the floor and there's all amazing tools. This is incredible vision, great imagination by people, but sometimes we look at it from the lens of it's very flashy. You know, it's very nice.
New, exciting.
But how are we going to do something with it that's going to really impact students? And so we brought in a few guests today.
We're pulling some of our favorite people into our
and their
podcast
entourage.
booth and their fan clubs.
Hi, fan club.
Woo! And for those who need a refresher, because I know we've been away for a minute, dumplings over flowers is a Japanese proverb that means when you're faced with the choice, always choose dumplings over flowers, the substance over appearance. Yes. So we're here today with Marisa Janicek, who is the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services at El Segundo School District here in California, one of our favorite places ever on earth. If you are anywhere in the area, if you live anywhere near El Segundo, I envy you terribly because I would love to have my son at your school. We've toured the grounds. It's beautiful and amazing. So
yeah, you're doing great.
We'll come back anytime. We love having you.
Thank you. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you doing at Air Show so far?
Fantastic. We had a team of incredible educators and students yesterday presenting to the world on their ideas of how to integrate AI into the classroom, which was phenomenal. And these are our future leaders in every possible way.
If my producer wouldn't get mad, I would drop the mic because that's it. That to me is the end game. It's how are the kids being the consumers and producers of this, not necessarily how are the adults. Now, our role there could be facilitation, but I really want to know what your role is in that project, like how you've, guided or facilitated that project. I know it's in its infancy, so there's no...
Yeah, I can talk a lot about what we're doing in El Segundo, but just to follow up on the presentations yesterday, that was in partnership with AI EDU. And the kids' big takeaway, they had to develop a lesson, talk about a rubric with AI skills, what they should add, what they shouldn't add, the level of integration with AI. Their big takeaway is, wow, our teachers work hard.
Oh,
they actually have to do lesson plans.
That's amazing.
Well, you've come to the right place, right? And Mosaic Instructional Planning is, at our core and in our blood is the idea of planning. We just presented downstairs at the demo stage and was talking about how to kind of bridge the gap. I called it the shrink the distance between thunder and lightning, when you're counting.
Which is pretty amazing.
I like that.
You coined a great phrase this morning.
I woke up to that this morning.
Oh, that was this morning?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Very well done. Yes.
Woke up to that. And our concept is that imagination equals reality. So it's like it can happen now. And it's the distance between thunder and lightning. And it's happening in real time, and how are we using it? So I'd love for you to kind of get into that a little bit more, how the kids recognize that and how you guys help them recognize that.
Sure. Let me take a step backwards and talk about what we've started to do. AI just started, and ChatGPT was the scary term for everybody to hear about, especially in education, I would say, because it's coming. How do kids use it? How are we going to use it? Teachers don't know what it is. Administrators don't know what it is. So many layers to what AI can do in a positive and negative way.
Sure.
So we embraced it as it's coming. Let's learn about it. Let's talk to people and let's see how we can really roll out and develop something that would be supportive for our staff, supportive for our students, and very transparent for our parents.
Yeah. Excellent.
So the layer, we call it our AI Literacy and Leadership Initiative. We started with a big kickoff where Dr. Moore shared with the community that came out kind of the importance of what we were doing and the why behind it. We had done a lot of research and learning about what was coming and what we needed to really get out there and the why. The why behind it.
I love that. Yep.
Yeah, and so we started with that, and then we started to engage community members. So we had 3 focus groups where we brought together open-ended. Anybody could drop in.
Nice.
We had one at the high school, one at the middle school, and one at the elementary. But it wasn't, you didn't have to be an elementary parent to attend the elementary.
Oh, that's smart.
Just what you could attend. And those were sessions where we, again, presented on what was important in AI, why kids need to be literate within
Excellent.
artificial intelligence, and what it really was, and that actually we're already using it in a lot of different ways.
Exactly.
So to kind of take away the scare behind it or the fear, and parents and teachers and students all were invited to attend. And so then we gathered the data from them, which was really interesting, to be honest. Our community is so wonderful. They're very open and excited that we're kind of forging ahead and appreciative of the steps we're taking to make sure it's safe.
I would be. I'm a parent of 5.
sure.
I'm sitting here going, wow, I've never been asked to, lend my voice to that. That's pretty awesome. What did the data show? Was there any anomalies or anything that really stood out that was surprising?
For me personally, it was really surprising because we had the high school one first, and the parents were very engaged and very worried about, well, how are they going to continue to learn? How are they going to take this instead of just applying a new transcript from ChatGPT?
Right.
How do they think through it? What are you going to do? And the high school is already doing all of those things, and we'll continue. And we have a great lead team of teachers that are developing ongoing attributes and ways that we need to integrate and not integrate, so that our kids can be literate and strong and be successful. So what surprised me was the elementary parents. I thought they were going to be crazy upset. Oh, this is scary.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
robots,
yeah.
I don't want my kids data, this, that, the other thing. They were the ones who said, keep going, faster. Let's go. This is great.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I
if
just
you-
got the chills.
What? Seriously?
It shocked me.
Chills. That's awesome.
I didn't. Initially, I did.
You were delivering the chills. You don't have to receive them. That's amazing.
Yeah, but I think
good.
part of it is they were born with more
They're
technology.
natives.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're already digitally sound
For sure.
and understand the importance of it.
Most likely they're saying, finally, like the system's catching up a little bit. I can recognize that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
My elementary school aged son used ChatGPT to plan himself a trip. He's obsessed with going to Canada. He wants to go to do dog sledding and skiing and all the things. And he used ChatGPT to plan the whole trip.
Amazing.
change Canada to El Segundo.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
There's no dog sledding in El Segundo.
No, we need to move to El Segundo, not visit. We need to move there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it sounds like you're choosing substance
Yeah.
right from the beginning, the foundations of what AI is in your district.
Yeah,
and that's
and
amazing.
I don't think I've even gotten to the exciting part. So then we had a board policy
More chills coming.
study group where our board members came together, looked through the data, and we talked about what was important in a policy moving forward.
Sure.
A lot of people don't have policies. Even if we develop it, it most likely is going to shift. That's just the nature.
Yeah.
But we want to get something in place. And all 5 board members were so supportive and grateful.
great.
Everything is behind continuing to move forward because our kids need these skills in place, and so do our teachers. So all along the way, we've had this group of incredible teachers. Some of them may be here.
Our live studio audience.
Yes.
That volunteered to be a part of this initiative and help lead the works. And the energy in our room, I'm not kidding, is so positive and inspiring and exciting just to bring what we can to the table so that we're thinking it through. So we're engaging our kids. We have a graduate profile. We want them to critically think. We want them to
21st
communicate.
century skills.
All of the important things, and how can we bring AI in to not only help teachers so it can free up their time
Right.
and be more present with students, but also so that they can engage their students to use AI. And one of the kids said yesterday, it can be used in a negative, fearful way, or it
Sure.
can be used in a positive way. And what we want them to learn is how to use the tool so that it helps them be successful and, super competitive in the
Yes,
future.
yes, for
Absolutely.
sure.
amazing. Thank you so much for those insights. Thank you for your time.
We always appreciate you, Marisa, and always love talking to you.
Yes.
Love talking to you too.
Thank you so much for being here.
And thank you, studio audience.
Thanks,
Appreciate
El Segundo.
Oh, who we got next, Nicole?
We are with April Strawn from El Segundo High School. Yes, girl.
Lovely to be here.
Nice.
She is an ELA teacher, 9 and 10 honors, yes?
Yes.
Near and dear to my heart. I taught both of those things for a while, myself in New York on the other ocean.
Wow.
And I loved that age group and that class, especially 10 honors, because you got to watch children turn into
Monster.
somewhat adults.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No.
Mini adults.
Yes. No, they get out of the monster stage.
Oh,
In
I was a
10th
middle
grade.
school teacher. That's right.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No.
Not enough money in the world.
No, yeah.
Correct. You look like you're at a hearing. No, thank you,
No,
Senator.
I'm not sure. Should I?
I will not teach middle
You're good
school.
either way.
Yeah.
I did not teach middle school with that one.
That's how I feel when I talk about middle school. I taught middle school for half of my teaching day for my first year, and I worked 36 miles away from my school,
That's too far.
and I cried for 35 miles every single day. A half a mile to get it going and a half a mile at the end to wipe
Wrap
my
it up.
face off. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. But anyway, enough about us and back to you. Welcome. So we just spoke with your Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Marisa Janicek, right in El Segundo District. And she was telling us about the wonderful things that you all are doing with AI with your students. And it sounds like with the help and support of your community and parents, which we love your community. Tower 60, is that a thing? Is that what Tower 60?
Which tower is it?
Tower 60. We love your community. You have
I don't-
no idea what we're talking about, but don't trust us. Go visit Tower 60. We have T-shirts.
Yeah, I got the shirt,
Yeah.
long sleeve.
So great.
tees.
So
Really
beautiful and so great. But
50-50 blend, if I'm not mistaken. Really nice.
I think it's a 60-40. That's what makes it so nice.
Huh. I'll check at home.
I don't know. But we know that you come from a supportive community, and you've done a lot of work in the district to involve parents and give them voice about what their students are doing and why and all of that great stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about specifically what your students have been doing and what you've been doing
your role.
with AI?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not on the AI initiative board. I was invited here a couple of weeks ago. But I have been using AI in my 9th grade classroom and 10th grade classroom quite a lot this year. I was inspired because we had this really great presentation during a PD, and she walked us through it and what the potential was. And I thought, how do we use this not as a cheat tool, but how do I move the needle on their writing and their participation and critical thinking? And so we've been dabbling with it a little since May of last year.
Nice.
They talked a little bit about this in the presentation yesterday. It was super cute. We looked at poetry written by students and humans, and then we looked at poetry written by computers. And so we had this amazing, it wasn't ChatGPT, it was something else that has since fallen off. We took some Robert Frost poems, and we gave it the first line and said, here, write the poem for us. And what it produced was so absurd, so devoid of emotion. And then we put them on these big papers, and I had them walk around and see, could you figure out which one was human and which one wasn't?
Right.
And it was remarkable how easy it was for them to identify and the reasons they came up with. And it had to do with perfection and writing and how it's really kind of a problem to have things be too perfect.
That's so interesting.
And
love that.
so little humanity in it.
I love that.
That's interesting, especially as I already said 15 times. I taught that same.
What?
I know. But I know that those honors kids are pretty hard on themselves when it comes to perfection. So to have them then have that reflection moment to
Really
notice.
cool thought. That's awesome, Nick.
Thanks.
I
Yeah,
was thinking of it
sometimes have them.
from a musician standpoint. I play drums, and I've done some recording, a lot of recording actually. And when the studio started being stale and everything has to be perfect, you lost so much of the flavor. And I believe it's why a lot of the music from my youth, not your youths, is still relevant, because it still has such soul and such feel. And not at the time wasn't
like
always
Elvis.
perfect. Stop it. Yeah, Benny Goodman, stop. But like one of the hallmarks of my favorite drummers was that they would push and pull the song on purpose, and move the tempo on purpose, because that's what you're feeling in the moment, and for that connection to be made there with writing and with words, that's pretty awesome. That's
I love that.
Really awesome. That's substance over appearance. That's the stuff we're talking about.
Dumplings over flowers.
Wow, we're not going to high five.
I didn't try to.
And you wanted to.
I resisted.
Good. So yes, that is really cool. Were there any other like findings, if you will? That's a really cool activity.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it ended at the end of last school year, because it was pretty new. I didn't fully understand it, and so I spent some time over summer and some time in fall getting to understand the powers that be behind AI. And so what I started doing this last year was I wanted to help students learn how to ask good questions, right? If you write a research paper, I really hope I'm not getting 150 of the same thing. I really hope they're not all the same length and all have the same sources. And so instead of providing them with a precise prompt, please answer this question, we went through like a 1-week question asking process. And we used AI to help us generate those. And I ended up with some really awesome points of view. And we were able to get away from their habit of summarizing material and coming and saying, well, tell me exactly how many paragraphs, tell me exactly what sources.
Oh, gosh. How many times do you get that question? How many sentences are in a paragraph?
Less now that I'm...
That's amazing.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yes, that's a really great tip for teachers. I love, first of all, the idea of developing a research question rather than saying, you can do a biography project on anyone you'd like and tell me what are we researching and why? I love that, because it brings in different perspective and different pieces of rhetoric, really, that are going to undergird that research that, again, you're going to have to tell the AI what kind of audience you're writing for, what's the purpose of this research, who is it going to be presented to, what kind of sources are informing it, and what could that mean, right? So that's really,
in
really
that
great.
way, if that's just such a great way for them to gather their thoughts, the correct thoughts either way, and then input that into something that gives them. I'm the guy that needed the head start. I wanted to know I was on the right track. I wanted to feel like something made sense, or I would have a lot of great ideas that never got into the air. And so I look at that from almost like a differentiation standpoint as well. Like if I prompt the system with these thoughts and it can give me a sentence that I can own, and or not necessarily take, but why not? Because these are my prompts, these are my thoughts, it's just kind of scaffolding the sentence for me, or the question. I see that as being so powerful. Nicole was always on the cutting edge of technology in her teaching, and in our workshops and in our work with teachers. One of the things that I always caught when she said was that technology is not for us to use for the kids, it's for us to get into the kids' hands. And so in this same way, I feel like it's a really powerful piece of the puzzle to find ways, like you're saying, to put it into the kids' hands and make that work for them.
Okay, so April, last question for you around AI, and in an English class specifically. How do you deal with AI with writing? What's your take?
So I'm really glad you asked that, because I came away with a really unique finding last time we did this. So I'll just kind of walk you through the project. We had a lot of work done around rhetoric and advertising and media literacy, and then I said, okay, go find something to comment on, right? A thing that you're interested in. And you're welcome to use it to develop some research questions, and let's work on an outline. And so we used it for that kind of baseline of writing. And then I said, okay, you need to go draft your own work, right? You need to do your own research, right? Use it for guidance, but not for the writing.
Right.
And a couple weeks later, when we came in to do the peer review piece, which is a paper to paper, everyone came in, had their names blacked out, right? Because it was an anonymous peer review.
Okay.
And several of the students had come with GPT written pieces. And it was fascinating, because people would pick it up, they would read it, and they would shout to the whole room, like, this is not student writing. Why did you...
Alert.
It was so interesting. But it wasn't coming from a place of like, you're a bad kid, just like, I can't help you because you're not giving me writing. And then it ended up back in the pile.
I want to teach your classes.
And so
that's amazing.
Students then came back to their work and were like, okay, so it's very easily recognizable.
Yeah.
We worked through some patches together, say what what is happening in this particular paragraph. And a ninth grader describe it as a very colorful blank piece of paper, right? Because it doesn't have any substance to it.
Oh,
And so I think the important takeaway here is that students recognize computer writing. They know that it's voiceless.
Yes.
And they know why that's a problem.
Yes.
And I think if I have done that by the end of ninth grade, like success.
Amazing. I wonder if you'd be able and willing to share some of maybe your thoughts and materials around that for our listeners, that if they want to try an activity that you've mentioned here today, we can help them with that. I also just love your district. I love your people.
Aren't they great? Look, they're all here.
I love your people.
Watching me.
Amazing.
I love
It's
your
not
people.
awkward at all.
No, not at all.
They've been making faces behind your back
Yeah.
like
bet
you
they
would
have.
not
I
believe
bet.
this entire time.
Somebody's not been listening at all, actually. I've been watching.
Is it Chris?
Yes.
It's definitely Chris. No, Chris is in tears
Most
over there. Are you
engaged.
kidding me? Thank you,
awesome.
April,
Thank
for
you so
talking
much.
to us today. Thanks for choosing substance over appearance
Yes.
for your kids and for all of our kids. And thanks for helping and being a part of this.
Of course. Thanks for having me here.
Yay! And we're back on Dumplings Over Flowers, live from the air show at ASU GSV.
Yep.
We have two of our faves. We have Hayley Spira-Bauer from Fullmind and Juliana Finegan from Vivi. And we're so thankful to have you guys here together, especially Girl Power. Let's go.
We love it. We
Wow.
love it.
Oh, yeah.
We actually showed up at the light at the exact same time without planning it.
What?
It was absurd. It's It's like- just
It is meant to be.
it's meant to be Bashert. We talk too much.
We love it. Today, we're hoping you'll talk just for a few about, we're asking people, because you know that our podcast is about dumplings over flowers, the proverb, Japanese proverb that says, if you're given the choice, you should always choose the thing with substance over the appearance. So how in your lives or in your work are you choosing substance over appearance when it comes to thinking about AI?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Girl power.
We've stumped you.
Yeah.
You can't have this conversation internally.
I think the big thing is just remembering that the expertise and the content is still coming from the human.
Yes.
And then the AI is really helping to add additional framing. You know, I'm putting in like different wording, different
Yes.
entry points. But again, you are still the expert. You still know your content. And how do you make sure that like once you've built something with AI, that it's still resonant and factual and all of the things in between, because you can't take that out. It can't replace that. And so I think that like,
100%. Agree.
you know, it's really amplifying
Yes.
your thoughts and voices as
Yeah.
opposed to being like,
I like that.
I
like
love
that.
thinking about AI meaning amplified intelligence.
Yes.
I love that.
Exactly.
I think you've
think we
coined
just
a new
coined it.
thing.
I don't think she did. You
augmented.
did.
And it's like not just artificial, right? So really
Yeah,
doing all of those other
we're
ways.
working in our platform right now. It's an instructional planning platform that we're saying AI is working with the teacher, not for the teacher, and it's
You're preaching
imperative.
to the Hayley choir.
Literally. And here's what I think about. Have any of you ever met two students who are identical?
No.
Ever?
Never.
And have any of you been in a classroom as a classroom teacher or supervising and supporting classroom teachers when they feel overwhelmed because the needs of their students are so vast and varied?
Yep.
Yeah, everyone has. All of us have.
Yep.
And so if we think about the use of artificial intelligence or amplified intelligence,
Yes.
Juliana just said,
Let's go.
if we think about it as being the
rights reserved.
octopus, the tentacles, the arms of a teacher that they otherwise
Yep.
would not be able to reach and touch
Yep.
every child
Yep.
at the level of personalization that they deserve,
Yep.
then we can talk about dumplings over flowers.
That's
I
right.
love that. Yes. Yes.
It's built. I mean, honestly, we've been saying this for over a decade.
Yes.
How are we leveraging technology to
Mm-hmm.
build teacher capacity to impact student learning?
Yep.
And again, it comes back. It's the same thing, right? It's like the substance. How are we building their capacity to do more?
Yes.
To give them time back,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that teachers are just
Tired, no busy, and
tired,
overwhelmed.
busy, and a million things. So
Yeah.
All right.
And that's our mission. That's our goal. And I'm glad you guys are along for the ride.
We sure are.
Thank you both so much.
Oh.
Have a great rest of your time.
Hey everybody, this is the unseen but ever-present Waterman. Thank you for listening to Dumplings Over Flowers. Be sure to subscribe to the show on YouTube or follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube or on social by searching Dumplings Over Flowers or @DumplingsPod. That's @DumplingsPod. Also, don't be afraid to leave a comment on our YouTube channel. Your comments, questions, or stories may very well inspire the conversation in our next episode. If you would like to know more about our cloud-based lesson planning platform, you can visit mosaicip.com. And if you're interested in signing up for the Mosaic Learning Architect Academy, you can get more information and register online at mosaicip.com/MLA. That's mosaicip.com/MLA. Once again, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.